Became a hero, build a statue. I don't think not that hero don't build no statue, it becomes zero. It was almost forgotten, right? Right? And we need to speak about this man.
Yeah.
We need to speak about that. Because he was so instrumental in Samoa.
Samoan history.
Post of Polynesia. Yeah, post of Polynesia. We are Pasifika. People of the ocean, people of the sun. We are Pasifika. People of the ocean, people of the sun.
Express what your thoughts were about Mataafa. What's something that you really enjoy about sharing?
So this man was a true hero for Samoa, right? And you have to look at the lenses of us being Samoan. Superpowers start to become interested in Samoa, right? Right? The Germans came. They started bombing Samoa. They tried to kill as many Samoans as we did. This man, Mataafa, and his men, Samoan men, they took their ground in Morinou and waited for the Germans to come to land. When they came to shore in Morinou, that's when the Germans first experienced Samoa guerrilla warfare. We killed them. Mataafa really went in, killed them, pushed them back. The Germans ran back to their massive ships there. Got them, ran up. They said this is how they wanted to make it look insignificant. They said this was the first civil war. You were fighting with us, you were an outside power, and you call it a civil war. Civil war is between our own people, right?
Yeah.
You see how stupid the narrative that these people did, right? And it's still in our history books to this day.
Wow.
Second time, 1889. But who came now? The Americans. They bombed my village, my hometown, Fagali'i. They bombed Fagali'i from morning till all afternoon. They bombed the whole coastline of Fagali'i all the way to my village. At the same time, Mataʻafa Iosefo was in Fagali'i and my village with his. The Americans thought, yeah, we've killed the savage Samoans. Now let's go in there and collect our trophies. They came to land. Same thing happened. Samoan warfare, chop them up by the knees and neck. You kill them, stab them, whatever, shoot them, beat them. The Americans lost, ran off, right? If you don't believe in this, right? And they named this one Second Civil War of Samoa. So we're fighting the Americans. We didn't fight them. We fought the Americans. Now, if you want an evidence of this, go to a city called Spokane. There's a statue that some of us Samoans, we petitioned to remove that statue because it was so offensive. The statue of a man by the name of John Monahan. On that statue, it says, killed while trying to save his comrades in the battle, the savage people of Samoa.
Oh, Samoa.
That's the savage people of Samoa. As you see, they built a statue over there in America, right? So we defeated them over here. Now, if you look at it, now they couldn't, bullets and sword here, they couldn't conquer us. So what they did, America, Great Britain, and Germany, they were going to go to war in Samoa against each other to see who takes over. What happened?
The hurricane
comes. Yeah, hurricane.
Yep.
Sank all three. The only one ship that got away was the HMS Calliope. The bell of that ship is hung in our school. Yeah. So what did they do here? They came to Berlin, right? Signed the Treaty of Berlin, also known as the Tripartite Treaty, to divide Samoa. Now, what does it mean by the word tripartite, right? They were supposed to divide into three. That's what it is. Yeah, Germany, between Germany,
America, and Great Britain.
How was divided? We got divided into two. So this is invalid because it wasn't followed. It didn't follow what it was supposed. And what did they do to compensate the British? We'll give you a part of the Solomon Islands just to make you happy, but we will divide more into two. You see, this man, this shows you, this man, Mataʻafa Iosefo, with what we had, no tanks, no nothing, no bombs and shit. He stood up for Samoa. He stood up. That's a true hero of Samoa, right? Now they beat the French. You guys probably know the famous story of when they came to us, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
And they sort of,
yeah. But you see this. We didn't take this sitting down, bowing our heads, nothing. We stood up, we like, come, give it your best shot. And we fought back, right? At the end of the day, they couldn't conquer us with steel, bullets, and sword. So they conquered us with the pen.
Yeah.
And we all know pen is right.
Yeah.
That's how they illegally divided Samoa. And that's why I'm so passionate for our people. Right? Became a hero, build a statue. I look at the Kuosan, not that hero, don't build no statue, it becomes zero. It was almost forgotten, right? Right? And we need to speak about this man.
yeah.
We need to speak about that. Because he was so instrumental in Samoa.
Samoan history.
He was no ordinary man.
He's a man with guts.
Yeah.
He loved his country.
Absolutely.
And then we have a lot of our young men right now who are living in the world, don't have the strength and power like what we had back in the day, where these men were very confident, kind of like how you saw and was raised by so many different people that inspired you, like your grandfather. And so you wish that our younger generation can learn from people like Mataafa, because I'm sure my kids don't really know, and they need to. And I think Mataafa was also a man of his words and really took care of his village. Other than that, I mean, that just solidifies the pride that our people had. And these were really true warriors that weren't afraid to die.
The American soldiers, they have the most Samoan people join out of any other race. So it just goes to show how we have so much mana and so much guts to fight for a country, American country.
At the same time, I am sad because it is really true that highest number of people in the American military is from American Samoa, and that's really sad because we're out there serving this great power. Now imagine if in 1965, when we asked what if they want to reunite it with us, and we reunited again. Imagine, right? But
Yeah.
I guess the Benjamins was really nice to have coming from Polo, played a little bit of role in not wanting to join. But the greatest thing about it is that we kept our lands, right? Our ancestors were smart enough to know the trickery behind their own of this, right? Surrounded by a massive body of ocean. What is there for us, right? And most of us, we look at this is our avenues out of the island to try and find a better future. It's either you make it in football, right? American football, or you make it go out in the military. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of people just take us for granted. And this is what I tell some people that look down at other people that don't speak the language, like especially English, right? I always tell them they may not be able to speak English well because that's not their language. It's their second language. But I guarantee you they're probably 10 times smarter than you. And they know a lot more history than you'll ever know, because a lot of people here don't take the opportunity to really do their research and learn, versus what they see on social media and what they see on television. And then instead of reading books and finding out research and resources, they tend to just go off of what everybody else says instead of just really getting down to getting resources that are actually legitimately resources, and then using people like professors or people that are highly intelligent in those areas to kind of like get the answers that they need.
Yeah.
And so that's why when I look at your content, it's just something that is Very
I'm
educational for me.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I have to say this because I was reading one of the articles in the, oh gosh, I forgot the website. It's called Troon or Tribune. It's a website that holds all of the 1900s of our people. And we had a lot of the Falangis that would write in the article about how very smart and intelligent our people are, how they fought to keep the structure of how the ties and how everything was set up. I say this because it's almost like what was done with the American Indians, how they slaughtered and killed all of their livelihoods with the bulls and their main source of food. You take that away from them. Yes, you take that away from them. So now they're becoming more dependent on you for your resources. And so I feel like that's exactly what happened with our Samoan people, was that it took away the things that makes us so intelligent, to think of our own, to think for our own, to think of survival, what we normally do, fishing, hunting. And then our physiques was just we were fit. So now we put in place McDonald's, we take away the plantation, and we give you other resources, and we give you jobs that makes you sit at a desk for 9 to 5. So now you're chasing the money instead of the money chasing you. And so now you're more dependent on the three powers to sustain yourself, and you forget and lose yourself in the making, and I thought that was very unique. And it says, educate yourself enough so you may understand the ways of other people, but not too much that you may lose your understanding of your own.
Yeah.
That is so true.
This is the continuation, that you may not become Palan, to appreciate the values of being. That's the whole thing. Yeah, I love that thing right there. Man, thank you so much. That's the ending of that, but so that you may appreciate the value of being Samoan. That's the whole thing.
And there's so much to talk about, but I'm going to end it here because that was the perfect way to end it, to stop the podcast at 2 hours, because we have our livelihoods and I don't want to take up too much of your time. So,
thank you.
Brother, thank you so much for being on our podcast. So whenever you feel like you need to come back on the podcast, please do. Yeah.
Feel free to reach out. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the opportunity, your time to share your thoughts here on Pulse of Polynesia. Thank you, Leaso, for giving us this opportunity to share our minds on here and to educate those that need, or just at least share our thoughts to those out there that need it. And yeah, again, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for starting the long. Yeah, this is perfect time. My son is awake and I'm about to go breakfast as well. Thank you again to all the viewers. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and from me, once again, I'm humbled to be here on this prestigious podcast, Pulse of Polynesia. Now I can finally go out. I appreciate you guys for taking the time to podcast. I enjoyed my time here, and it's my humble prayer that may the good Lord bless the land that you feed your pockets and your purses, and may He continue the blessings upon your children and your descendants. Yeah, and that's it. That's it from me. Thank you so much for taking the love. Oh my God, for Itala, Tomano Fuimaono. That's right.
Thank you so much. And with that said, to God be all the glory, and everyone have a good night and a good morning, a good day. And stay in touch with us. Let us know if there's anything you need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's taking the love.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye, guys. Yeah.
Bye.
We are Pasifika, people of the ocean, people of the sun. We are Pasifika, people of the ocean, people of the sun. We are Pasifika, moving with the waves to the night.